Now at 5, in glorious history, President Donald Trump has been impeached for a second time.
A man is shot to death walking his dog in a Philadelphia neighborhood.
Happening today, the race to vaccinate people in New Jersey is taking a giant leap forward. Now, millions more are eligible to get the shot. Action News starts right now.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with meteorologist David Murphy, Karen Rogers, Tamala Edwards, and Matt O'Donnell.
Good morning to you. David is off. Karen and Matt are here, and you know it's Thirsty Thursday.
Oh yes, and I'm thirsty already.
Yeah, but I'm doing a dry January, so it's just a tea.
No, you can drink water.
Water. Oh, that's what you were talking about.
What fun.
All right, that's great too. Let's go to the Weather Center right now. Be careful as you're driving around today. We've got a freezing fog advisory until 8 o'clock this morning. We have visibilities less than a quarter of a mile in some of these spots, and icy patches can develop. So it covers Dover, Millville, Atlantic City, even Lakehurst and Burlington and Ocean counties there, that freezing fog advisory. I'm not seeing a lot of fog just yet in the portions in Delaware, but in South Jersey, we've got quarter of a mile now in Toms River, Atlantic City Airport and Pomona, Millville, quarter of a mile, even Wildwood. So be careful. Let's look at the temperatures through part of this region. Now, north and west temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. It's 32 right now in Center City, but you can see these temperatures in a lot of these communities where you have freezing fog just in the 20s, and that's part of the problem, that it forms icy patches with a little misting underneath those low clouds. At 8 a.m. it's 31. Lots of clouds for everybody this morning, and then this afternoon brightens up a little bit. By 10:37, by lunchtime it's 43, partly sunny. By 3 o'clock it's 49 degrees. That's 9 degrees above average, Matt.
Dokes, Karen. After the Tuesday morning commute in Delaware and New Jersey, we are concerned about those slick spots this morning. Hopefully it goes a little better than it did then. Here in Delaware County, we're just concerned about construction. Still here in the southbound left lanes as you travel past 322 down toward the state line. We're getting by at this point without too much of a delay, but if it stays out here much longer, you could see slowing coming south of the Commodore Barry Bridge. Crossing town on the Vine Expressway, you know it'll be busy later on the westbound side as people avoid the construction on the westbound Schuylkill, but right now we're moving fine. Eastbound here at the Vine, overnight construction on the Schuylkill cleared out of the way. Here's a look at the Schuylkill at Conshohocken, and we had reports of a disabled vehicle on the ramp to Matson Ford Road. Looks like traffic's getting by. I'm not seeing that in the cameras. And there was a crash in Cheltenham along Cheltenham Avenue at Penrose Avenue, there by Linwood Billiards. That's now cleared out of the way. Everything moving better there along 309. Overnight in Maple Shade, crash involving a pedestrian here by the CVS along 73 at Fox Meadow Drive. It's all cleared out now. All lanes reopened on this Thursday morning. Tam?
All right. Thank you, Matt. Well, President Trump is now the only president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. The rebuke was in response to the violent mob of the president's supporters who stormed the Capitol last week, energized by his words at a rally. The article of impeachment now heads to the U.S. Senate for a trial. ABC's Faith Abubey is in Washington with the latest.
A stinging bipartisan rebuke of President Trump as his four-year term comes to a close with another impeachment on his legacy.
There was a domestic threat at the door of the Capitol, and he did nothing to stop it.
Sources telling ABC News the president angrily watched on television as House lawmakers put him in the history books as the only U.S. president to be impeached twice.
He must go. He is a clear and present danger to the nation that we all love.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi signing the article of impeachment soon after the decisive vote. 10 Republican lawmakers joining Democrats to condemn the president for riling up his supporters who stormed the U.S. Capitol last week in a deadly siege.
They searched the halls of this building for the vice president, who they came to hang for treason. They overran the office of the speaker, who they came to assassinate. They sought above all else to seize control of our government in the name of Donald Trump.
Trump releasing a video statement soon after the impeachment vote, but making no reference to the historic day, instead distancing himself from the violent mob.
No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence.
Meantime, heightened security in the nation's capital as the investigation continues into the Capitol riot. Thousands of National Guardsmen, many armed, surrounding the building, some resting in the halls of Congress between shifts. More than 30 House Democrats now calling for an immediate investigation into members of Congress who they say acted suspiciously and gave, quote, reconnaissance tours of the Capitol the day before the attack.
And in a statement, President-elect Joe Biden called the Capitol Hill riot a planned and coordinated attack. He's urging the Senate to move forward with both the impeachment trial and the nation's top business. Faith Abubey, ABC News, Washington.
More Pennsylvanians are legally arming themselves. A report from Pennsylvania State Police shows firearm background checks hit a record high of more than 420,000 in the final 3 months of 2020. That was almost twice the amount from the same time in 2019. New gun owners are citing a number of reasons for their purchases, including the pandemic and the current political climate.
Because of the state of affairs today. What happened, what was it, just several days ago? Yes, last week. It has to do with that.
The uptick in demand means gun inventory is flying off the shelves. Some retailers in our area say ammunition is sometimes hard to come by. There has also been an increase in demand for gun training and time at local shooting ranges.
A recent Temple graduate was shot and killed last night while walking his dog in Philadelphia's Brewerytown neighborhood. Police are now looking for 2 suspects. Detectives say security cameras show the victim turning the corner at 31st and Jefferson. A man stops in front of him, another man behind him. They go through his pockets. Then the man in front pulls the trigger. Police say the victim called for help, then dropped his phone on the ground, all while holding onto his dog's leash. He was pronounced dead at Temple University Hospital a short time after he was shot. And new here on Action News, a shooting in Wilmington left 1 man dead and another one injured. It happened on the 800 block of North Monroe Street last night. A 22-year-old man was killed and a 28-year-old victim showed up at the hospital. He's in stable condition. Police are trying to figure out who opened fire and why.
It is a shot in the arm for the vaccination effort in New Jersey. The state is expanding those eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. Anyone 65 or older can get the shot starting today. Action News reporter TaRhonda Thomas is live in Mount Laurel with more on this change in tactics. Good morning, TaRhonda.
Good morning, Matt. This ShopRite is one of more than 200 sites across New Jersey administering the COVID vaccine, and now more people are eligible to get that vaccine since the state has expanded its distribution. The New Jersey has moved some key groups up from phase 1C to 1B. That phase now includes people age 65 and up and people under age 65 who have medical conditions. They are all eligible to get the vaccine as of today. Now, the list of medical conditions includes, but it's not limited to, cancer, diabetes, heart conditions, obesity, and smoking. That's actually the biggest group of at-risk individuals, with more than 2 million smokers in New Jersey. The state has already vaccinated more than 264,000 people, and more than 2 million have registered for the vaccine, so they've got a long way to go. What prompted the state, though, to move these groups into a higher priority? Well, Governor Phil Murphy says it's largely because of action by the federal government.
It is somewhat, if not largely, based on the anticipation, not guarantee, but anticipation of increased deliveries of vaccines as the federal government will no longer be holding back doses. We are confident in taking these steps.
I want to remind everyone that you must have an appointment at this time. Vaccination sites are not able to accommodate individual walk-ups.
Now, people do not need to provide proof of their medical condition to get the vaccine, but they do need to register ahead of time. We've got a link to that on our website. I also just tweeted out a link where you can look at all the locations in New Jersey and try to make that appointment. We're live in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. TaRhonda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Matt?
A lot of people are anxious to get it. Thank you, TaRhonda. Chester County is reporting a post-holiday surge of coronavirus cases. The hotspots are in the southern portion of the county in Kennett Square and Avondale. 6ABC's data journalism team found that Chester County is seeing the 4th most per capita cases among the 5 suburban counties at this point. Bucks and Montgomery counties are seeing the most. Philadelphia, at this point, and remember this is per capita, is seeing the least.
Happening today, the Philadelphia School District will update its outreach to children with special needs who are learning at home. Superintendent Dr. William Height will unveil 6 locations opening up for in-person student assessments. Families rely on these annual evaluations to complete an individualized education plan for their children with learning disabilities. Scheduling will begin on January 19th, and those sites will open up the following week.
5:09, happy Thursday, everyone. Sky 6 taking a live look at the darkness enshrouding the Commodore Barry Bridge. It's cold right now, and then when the sun comes up, Karen, that's when it starts doing its work again.
It does. Are you ready for some good news?
Yes.
Okay, let's see it. This is the day I kind of wait for with the sunrise. Sunrise 7:21. We've reached 5 o'clock for the sunset today. I feel like that's a big difference, right? So yesterday the sunset was 4:59. We were getting close, but I feel like once you hit the 5 o'clock hour, you know, okay, we've got a little more daylight out there. So enjoy that, and you'll see some sunshine as well. Now the morning hours are rather cloudy, a high of 49. We'll see a bit more sun this afternoon. It's another mild day. And then tomorrow, also mild, 50 degrees, but lots of clouds. We get some rain Friday night into Saturday morning. So Saturday starts wet, mostly cloudy, a high of 46. So still well above average. Each one of these days, the average high is 40. We do get below average in the 7-day. I'll show you when coming up next, Tam.
All right. Thank you, Karen. It's 5:10 and blockbuster deal, but this epic trade means the Sixers are not adding another all-star to the roster. A new promise for yet another COVID-19 vaccine, and this one only requires one shot in the arm.
This morning, an ABC News exclusive. Jacob Blake speaks to ABC News, offering his first interview since he was shot by a police officer in August. It's coming up, all new at 5.